Okay, welcome back to the deep dive. We are continuing our exploration, really diving deep into this fascinating book, The Buddha's Lost Art of Gaam-Node Ru and the Three Natures.
It's quite something, isn't it? The way it seems to just cut through the usual mental chatter.
Yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
gets right to how we actually experience things and maybe, why we get stuck so often. So, quick recap from our previous deep dives. We started with those, I did it again moments. We all know them.
Oh, yeah. Those times you react, maybe snap or just fall into an old habit, and you realize, hang on, that wasn't really a choice. Something hidden felt like it was driving.
Pulling the strings, basically.
Right. And the book introduced those hidden drivers as the three natures, good, bad, and stagnant. Not just ideas, but presented as like actual energies inside us battling it out.
The portable charger analogy, yeah. Each wanting your energy.
Mm-hmm. Which led us to chapter 3, the I am the vessel idea.
Which is huge. The idea that we are the emperor, the consciousness, listening to these advisors, the natures, we're supposed to decide, but...
But we get confused. We think the advisor's loud voice is our voice. We identify with that impulse.
We mistake the messenger for the emperor.
Perfectly put. It's a real mix-up.
And that mix-up, getting swept away by the loudest voice, brings us straight to chapter 4, titled The Missing Element.
All right.
Because it tackles this really vital question. If just knowing about these natures, if awareness alone isn't enough to stop us getting pulled around, and the book is pretty clear it isn't the whole picture,
No, it insists it's not enough.
then what is missing? What's the actual tool, the inner mechanism we need to, stand firm in those moments? And maybe even invite the good nature forward intentionally.
That's the core of it. The book makes a really sharp distinction.
Yeah.
Awareness is vital, absolutely. You need to see the impulses coming.
You need to spot the bad nature trying to barge in.
Exactly. You can even name it, there's that irritation again. But, and this is the key point in the book, just knowing it's there doesn't magically give you the strength to stop it or choose differently every time.
So awareness sees the wave.
But it doesn't build the seawall. You need something more robust inside. An inner mechanism, the book calls it. Something steady, alive, guarding the gate from within.
Something to meet the moment with strength.
Yes. And crucially, a way for you, the emperor, to actively choose to connect with the good advisor, the good nature. So it's not always having to fight for airtime.
Setting the stage for goodness, kind of?
Precisely. And this is where the book introduces this specific practice, this missing element. It gives it a name.
Which is Gaam-Node Ru.
Gaam-Node Ru, that's it.
Yeah.
In Thai, Kana, the book translates that as to set the condition to know.
To set the condition to know. That sounds very intentional. How does the book unpack that phrase?
Well, it breaks it down into two parts. First is Gam-Kada, Gaam-Node.
Okay.
And the book explains this means to direct or intend or mark something with purpose. But here's the crucial bit.
Yeah.
It's not about fixing or forcing your mind.
Not controlling it.
No. It's about setting your awareness on something specific, but with sincerity, with stillness, with care.
Yeah.
It's the intention to simply know what's actually there. No analyzing, no judging, no trying to change it, just setting the condition to know.
Just knowing, purely knowing, with purpose.
Exactly. The quality of that intention, sincere, still, caring, that's key.
Yeah.
Then the second part is Kana Ru,
Ru.
meaning to know or to be clearly aware. But again, the book clarifies this isn't just casual knowing, like knowing it's Tuesday.
All right.
It's knowing with conviction, without confusion, without doubt.
Yeah.
The book suggests something really interesting here, that when your mind is free from that underlying uncertainty, that fear of the unknown, well, what's left is this true, clear knowing.
And that brings release.
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
A deep release, the book says. So the teaching is, whatever you aim this Gaam-Node Ru at, whatever you set the condition to know, with intention, with the clarity, once you truly know it in this way, the fog lifts. The unknown around it disappears.
Okay.
And in that clear knowing, the good nature just naturally activates.
So the knowing itself creates the space for the good nature.
That seems to be the idea. The book gives an example, like say you're in a tense meeting.
Okay.
Instead of getting lost in the tension, you practice Gaam-Node Ru. You set the condition to know the feeling of your back against the chair. Just that physical sensation. The book suggests you'll still feel the room's tension, sure, but maybe that urge to lash out or get defensive, it isn't there. You can speak calmly, genuinely wanting a solution, because you're anchored in that simple knowing.
That feels very different from the usual spiral.
It does, and the book explains the flip side, too. If you don't set the condition to know, if you just let the uncertainty run wild, Doubt creeps in, the mind gets cloudy.
Fear takes over.
Fear rushes into that vacuum of not knowing. And ignorance, the book uses the Pali term, avijja takes the wheel. You start grasping, reacting out of that fear and confusion, not seeing clearly.
Making things up to feel safe, maybe.
Exactly. Inventing escapes based on ignorance.
Whoa.
The mind panics. It forgets clear action. And here's the kicker. The book argues that wrong action, those I did it again moments, often start not from wanting to cause harm,
Not from bad intentions.
but simply from not knowing what's actually happening inside you in that critical moment. You react from the fog, not from clear sight.
Wow. So it's a failure of knowing, fundamentally.
That's the argument. And this lack of clear knowing before the reaction, that's what the book flags as the missing element in so many self-help or spiritual approaches. We try to fight the bad stuff without first seeing it clearly, without that moment of certainty.
So Gaam-Node Ru is about getting that certainty first.
Exactly. It provides that moment of clarity before the storm hits. It trains you not just to be vaguely aware, but to know clearly and without doubt what you're actually experiencing.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Setting the condition to know.
But you know what? Exactly.
Yeah.
What are these things we're supposed to focus this knowing on? What are the anchors? Good question. The book gets very practical here. It talks about using real, tangible signals, things you can actually feel right here, right now.
Like physical stuff.
Mostly, yes. Physical sensations are great anchors. So it could be your breath, just the feeling of air at the nostrils, or your chest rising and falling,
Simple.
or your heartbeat, if you can feel it easily. The simple pressure of your feet on the floor, the contact where your hands are resting. Even existing body sensations, maybe headache or neck tension, shoulder tightness, eye strain, anything that's clearly present in your physical experience.
So concrete, present moment feelings.
Exactly. And the book stresses they need to be clear and continuous. That's important. And there's a reason it emphasizes physical sensations.
Why is that?
Because, the book explains, the bad nature is tricky. It can twist thoughts, create illusions, but it has a much harder time corrupting the raw data of a physical sensation.
Yeah, right. It can't easily tell you your foot isn't feeling pressure if you clearly feel it.
Precisely. It's too real, too direct. Now, the book does also mention you could use created anchors.
Like what? Not physical.
Right. Could be a mantra you repeat silently, or some specific inner imagery, or even intentionally cultivating a particular wholesome feeling, like kindness.
Okay.
But the same rules apply.
Right.
You have to know exactly what that created anchor is, and needs to stay clear and continuous in your awareness. You need to trust its pure quality, the book says, otherwise the mind wanders off and you lose the anchor.
Makes sense. Consistency is key.
Yeah. And the book calls this chosen anchor your meditation anchor, which sets things up for the next chapter, where it goes deep into meditation itself.
Got it. Okay, so you choose an anchor, physical or created. It's clear, it's continuous. You apply Gaam-Node Ru, setting that condition to know it clearly, without doubt. What happens then? What are the results the book talks about?
Well, the book describes the results as pretty profound, even extraordinary, when it's done right and consistently. It says, the Duong Ru, the knowing mind, can arise.
The knowing mind, and what does that bring?
With Duong Ru, the book teaches, punya flows in, merit. But not just future good karma. It's described as a pure, beneficial energy entering your system right now.
Like a direct energy boost.
Exactly. An energy that connects you directly to the good nature. It supports feelings of safety, allows real insight to emerge, builds genuine inner strength.
Wow.
The book says it literally clears mental space, helps you live more wisely, respond calmly, face difficulties with stability. It's like inviting goodness in, which then attracts more wholesome things, people, opportunities, conditions.
That sounds transformative. Not just managing negativity, but actively bringing in positivity.
Yes, it's presented as a fundamental shift. And there's another key result. As this pure energy, this punya, flows in, mental toxins start to dissolve.
Toxins?
Yeah, the book calls them malatin. These are the built-up cravings, distortions, irritation, the stuff that keeps us stuck in those I did it again patterns.
Yeah.
The book uses this great image. These toxins act like magnets for the bad nature.
Ah, so the more toxins you have.
The stronger the pull from the bad nature. It finds fertile ground. So by bringing in punya through Gaam-Node Ru,
You're not directly fighting the bad nature, you're cleaning up the environment where it thrives.
that's exactly the perspective. It's a natural consequence. The pure energy cleans house. The book also says the mind becomes bright. Your awareness gets this inner warmth and steadiness.
And the result?
You regain yourselves. You feel the moment more clearly. You respond from the good nature, from that place of strength and clarity, instead of being hijacked.
It sounds less like effort and more like alignment.
That's a great way to put it. The book really stresses this is a natural process. You aren't forcing change with willpower. Your effort is in setting the condition, the Gaam-Node Ru. Get that right, and the pure energy flows, doing the work.
Okay, this is making sense. The concept, the anchors, the results, pranyaya, dissolving toxins. But life happens fast. Minds wander. You're going to lose it, right? You'll forget to do it. How does the book deal with actually making this stick?
Oh, it's super realistic about that. It says flat out, you will lose the anchor. Your mind will drift. You will forget.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not about perfection.
Not at all. The instruction isn't never fail. It's simply just Gaam-Node Ru again. Realize you're lost. Gently, without fuss, come back. Set the condition to know again.
So forgetting isn't failure, it's just part of the process, an opportunity to restart.
Exactly. The book describes it as moving from manual, where it takes real conscious effort, to semi-automatic, then maybe even fully automatic, like a new default setting. You just check in. If it's stalled, you restart. The returning is the practice.
That really lowers the barrier to entry
And yeah,
immensely.
it does. And the book gives a great way to know if it's really working for you. Beyond the theory,
Oh.
practice it. Feel the changes. Notice. Does a little more calm creep in? Do things bother you slightly less? Can you meet tricky people or situations with a bit more poise or compassion even?
The proof is in the pudding, basically, in your own experience.
Yes. And then it suggests this brilliant experiment. If you're still unsure, try the opposite. Deliberately stop doing Gaam-Node Ru for a bit.
Just stop.
Yeah. And just watch. See what happens. Do little things suddenly feel huge again? Do irritations get louder? Do you find yourself back in those old reactive patterns?
Ooh, that direct comparison would be telling.
Very telling. The book suggests you let that contrast be your teacher. Not words, not ideas, but the felt difference between being present with Gaam-Node Ru and being swept away without it. Let your experience convince you.
That feels very grounded, very empirical in a way.
It is. And to help build that experience, the book offers some really simple, everyday tips for integrating Gaam-Node Ru.
Okay, practical stuff. Love it.
Yeah, ways to weave it in, like using transitions, moving between tasks, walking to another room. Just take one breath. Feel your body. Reset with Gaam-Node Ru, just a tiny moment.
Little resets throughout the day.
Exactly. Another one, use walking. Pay attention to your feet. Feel the lift, the swing, the contact with the ground. It's a constant, clear sensation, perfect anchor.
Something you do all the time anyway, just bringing awareness to it.
Right. And a third one, which is incredibly powerful for relationships. Listen before you speak.
How does that work with Gaam-Node Ru?
As someone talks, notice how their words land inside you. What feeling arises? Seen, irritated, dismissed, understood. Set the condition to know that feeling clearly for a moment. Then, before you jump in with a reply, check in again. What's here now? Let your response come from that clarity, not just the initial reaction.
Wow. That could change, well, almost everything in conversations, responding from knowing, not just reacting.
Fundamentally. And again, the book reminds you, forgetting is okay. Realizing you got swept up isn't failure. It's the signal to begin Gaam-Node Ru again. It's the prompt to return.
The practice is the returning.
It really is. And the book points out, especially when things feel really overwhelming, having that simple Gaam-Node Ru practice plus a clear anchor like a body sensation gives you something solid, something real to hold on to amidst the chaos, a point of inner stability.
That makes sense. And it also hints that while these daily practices are good, the real strengthening comes from dedicated meditation, right? Which is coming up next.
That's exactly right. These daily moments build the muscle, but the focused meditation practice detailed in the next chapter is where you really train it, make it strong and reliable.
Okay, so that was a deep dive into Chapter 4, The Missing Element, from the Buddha's Lost Art of Gaam-Node Ru and the Three Natures. We've unpacked why awareness alone might not be enough and explored this core practice, Gaam-Node Ru.
Setting the condition to know.
Yeah, setting the condition to know, understanding what it is, that intentional, clear, doubt-free knowing, what you can anchor on breath, body, even created signals. And the results, inviting that pure energy, punyanya, dissolving the mental gunk, the malatin, and finding that brighter mind, that ability to respond from the good nature.
And importantly, how to make it practical, how to bring it into daily life, remembering that returning is key.
Absolutely. And those daily tips are great starting points.
You know, what's really striking is how this reframes inner work. It's not about gritting your teeth and fighting negativity. It's presented as, well, almost simpler. Just set this condition, this clear knowing, and allow a natural rebalancing to happen. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
What could actually change in your life, day to
Right.
day,
Yeah.
especially in those tough moments, if you really cultivated this simple art? The art of just knowing what's truly present inside and out without immediately needing to fix it or react to it.
That's a powerful thought to sit with. It really shifts the focus to presence, doesn't it? To that simple act of knowing.
Mhm.
And as you said, the book takes this foundation and builds on it. So in our next deep dive, we'll be exploring chapter 5, looking specifically at how to apply Gaam-Node Ru within formal meditation practice to really deepen this skill. Definitely looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.